on a night where history was going to be made. Tonight in Boston, Massachusetts, at the TD Garden, we witness history as a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion has indeed been crowned. We welcome you to the recap of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view event, which was live from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, exclusively on the WWE Network and through your local cable provider wherever you were around the world. I am Michael Flecha, alongside my partner in crime, Anthony Florio. It's just the two dudes with attitudes tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we got a lot to get into. So let's just dive right in. The first match of the night was for the WWE Tag Team Championship, as it was the Uso brothers putting the titles on the line against Roman and Harper of the Wyatt family, the winners of the bout, and still the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Anthony, I give it to you. What did you think about the match?
All right. Hello, friends. It's Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here with you for this Money in the Bank review. Delighted to be here as always, and delighted to have you with us as well on a very good night. Yes, this was a tone setter, no pun intended. I mean, this was a fantastic match to start the pay-per-view. We talked about this on our private chat, Flex, and we said that this was one of the best tag team title matches we've seen in recent memory. And wow, I mean, the crowd was into it. We were into it. So many great near falls throughout the match. Entertaining match from start to finish. Very surprised the Usos went over here. I thought for sure we were going to have new tag champs, but maybe they got something bigger in the works. I don't know. But for right now, 3.5 to 3 3/4 stars. This was a fantastic way to start the pay-per-view, and the crowd in Boston was red hot. I mean, coming off that Daniel Bryan interview segment in which he said that he's going to be, he may need a second surgery, which let's hope that's not the case, but it could be the case. I mean, we thought that, but so far we were 0 for 2 because we thought Daniel Bryan was going to come out and announce he was going to come back, and he was ready to come back and be medically cleared, but no, not the case. And now Usos go over just as we thought Rowan and Harper were going to win that. So I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But now who's next for the Usos? Who's going to be the next heel tag team to challenge them? The only other one I could think of right now is Rybax. And Rybax, well, yeah, things aren't going too well for those two. So I don't have a problem with the Usos as tag teams in all honesty. They're great workers, let's not kid ourselves, but they need someone to work with. And who that is right now, I don't know. Unless you call up a certain tag team from the NXT, maybe the most popular tag team in the NXT today, a certain tag team that I know Michael Flecha is a huge fan of, and I know Derek Ferrera is as well. A little tag team called, I don't know, the Ascension. Anyone? The Ascension? Maybe, unless you turn them heel, or unless they already are heels in NXT, because I don't know where they stand, but I guess they are heels. Okay, so maybe call them up, and who knows? Maybe we can set up a nice little tag team title feud for Battleground, or maybe even SummerSlam. Anyone? Good Lord, that would be, then you're looking at a damn near 5-star classic. But for right now, this match was awesome. 3.5, 3 3/4 stars. It's the third best part of the night because we already know which two are going to be the top two. So nothing left to say here except Fletch, your thoughts.
You know, I have to agree with you. This was a 3.5 star fight. I mean, we all were very shocked at the way that they came out, and they came out guns blazing tonight. This was an unbelievable way to start the pay-per-view. I mean, you could not have written a better script if you're WWE, and they really came out. They fired on all cylinders, and I have to say, I was thoroughly impressed with the way that this match turned out. I was really loving it, enjoying the match. I think the spots were right on, and I know my good friend Bill McConnell is not happy tonight because of the fact that he had the Wyatts winning the titles. I think the whole world had the Wyatt family winning the tag team championships, and so unfortunately, Bill, it's not meant to be. And for the rest of the Uso Nation, you get to celebrate. You get to be yelling Usos for a little while longer because your boys are still the WWE Tag Team Champions. All right. So next up on the card, we had, well, we went from one title fight to another championship match. And this was for the WWE Divas Championship as Paige puts the title on the line against Naomi, the winner of the bout, and still the WWE Divas Champion, Paige. And I'm going to say this, far and away one of the best Divas matches we've had, at least WWE wise, in a very long time. I thought this was a very enjoyable match. I loved the body works of both ladies. And the thing was, and I was talking to Dee Dee Woodson about this match during the pay per view tonight, and we got into a nice little Facebook chat. Was that we were really worried about Cameron. We were like, if this fight gets the amount of a lot of time and gets the action and everything works out and it's a clean finish, then we're going to be praising this to the high heavens. And sure enough, we did. Paige gets a great victory over Naomi, and not only that, but it was a clean victory, a clear-cut victory for Paige as she successfully defends the title. So I'm going to give this between 1.5 to 2 stars. I thought this was a very good match, very enjoyable. And we finally got to see two hard workers going at it in the middle of the ring and just use their craft and let's see what they were made of. And they entertained us. The fans, yeah, they kind of could have gotten a little better or a little more behind this match, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was a great way to settle the fans back in. Like I said, 1.5 to 2 stars is my rating. Anthony, what's yours? Anthony, are you with us? Okay, looks like we've lost Anthony. All right. Fortunately, we did indeed lose Anthony Florio. All right, we're gonna have to scramble now and at least continue on here with our card. Adam Rose going one-on-one with, well, Damian Sandow, but in this night, he called himself Paul Revere, basically one of the more iconic image people from back in, I guess, the Revolutionary days. If you were a big fan of that, if you were a big fan of American history, to say the very least. Um, the winner of the bout was Adam Rose, and I will say this: I thought this was a very enjoyable match. I thought this was, it was a good TV quality type match. So I think it was just one of those matches that I kind of felt like was just enjoyable for all the fans to see. And it's I'm gonna give it accordingly, and I'm gonna give it another 2, maybe 2.25 star fight. I thought this was very good. And at the end of the day, I mean, it was just as good as anything we could have expected. I mean, it kind of was a little disappointing that, this had to be one of those fights that were kind of a filler match for the fans. But, at the end of the day, it was good. Good for what it was worth. Could have been a lot better, as I said. But, I did enjoy it. I did like it. And, well, let's just move on to the next was for the Money in the Bank. It was Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose versus Rob Van Dam versus Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston versus Jack Swagger. Unfortunately, Bad News Barrett could not go in the match due to injury. He was a no-go in this fight, and the winner of the bout and the man who gets the Money in the Bank briefcase was Seth Rollins. He wins the match. Um, I'm just gonna say it like this: the match itself was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it was probably one of the best Money in the Bank fights. I could ladder matches of the night, and amazing, so incredible. Kofi with a great high spot in the match again. And then, of course, unfortunately, Dean Ambrose did suffer an injury midway through the fight. He had to leave the match, but he did come back. But what really took this fight away and what really kind of hurt the match was the ending. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins were fighting at the ladder. The briefcase was hanging above. It looks like Dean Ambrose was going to get the ladder, was going to get the briefcase. The pyro goes off. Kane shows up and attacks Dean Ambrose, which gives Seth Rollins the opportunity to capture the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he wins the match. I gotta give it 4.25 to 4.5 stars. If it would have been a clean finish, this would have been a 5-star classic. I cannot do it. I can only give it 4.25 to 4.5. But what a match it was, to say the very least. To me, the fight of the night. So next up we had was Stardust and Goldust versus Rybax. Stardust and Goldust wins the matchup, and I'm gonna say this was an okay fight. I mean, it could have been a lot better. I could have been a little more enthused or wowed over the match. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out the way I thought it was gonna pan out. Um, it was good for what it was worth. I enjoyed the action. I love the tag team chemistry, and you know, I don't know what's gonna happen now that Stardust and Goldust wins the match. Maybe they're in line for a WWE Tag Team title shot. We'll wait and see what happens in the very near future. But with that said, they do move on. They do win the match. I give this about 2.5 stars as my rating for this. So let's just move on to the next. Biggie Langston going one-on-one with Rusev, and the winner of the bout was Rusev, getting a submission victory because of the. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I was actually thoroughly impressed with this match. This was once again a wrestling form be a man fight, as Derek Forever would allude to, something that I always love to preach more than anything else in this world. And this was a be a man fight. These two men went high octane, high drama, a beautiful spear outside the ring, which kind of jacked up both men in the action. I loved how this wrestling match turned out to be, and it was a great match, well done, well wrestled, and at the end of the day, Rusev gets a major win, another stepping stone for him as well. I'm gonna give this 2.25 stars. I mean, I thought this was a solid fight. Nothing that would make me want to jump out of my seat or say anything amazing, but I thought it was good quality. Definitely, um, definitely, definitely a good match to say the very least. And I'm very happy with the outcome. And now the sky's the limit for the for Rusev. Who's he gonna face? Who's he gonna get? See what happens there, and then we'll just move on from that. The next fight we had is Layla versus Summer Rae with the special Dongo. The winner of the bout was Layla. She beats Summer. I'm sorry, this was a dud for me. Worst fight of the night. Um, we know why this fight was set. We know why this fight was put on the map. I feel like they really did a major disservice for us tonight by putting this match. I could see this on Monday Night Raw. I could have saw this on Friday Night SmackDown. Hell, I could have done this on NXT main event, superstars, whatever you want. Um, that's the way that this is going. And at the end of the day, we did have a situation. Um, Okay, unfortunately, we did lose Anthony Florio. He says his server is down. He's out temporarily. We hope to get him back. If not, then maybe we will have him do his own recap video, and we'll go from there. So with that said, we're gonna move on to the main event, which was for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns, Cesaro, Bray Wyatt, John Cena, Sheamus, Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio, and Kane. This was the Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion is John Cena. He wins the title tonight. Is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and I know the Cena fans. Well, the Cena fans are just going crazy right now. They're in celebration mode. The Cena haters, the IWC, Twitter, Facebook, it's exploding right now with very angry John Cena fans, with John Cena haters. They're out in full force right now. Wins the title. What a match it was. A great main event, to say the very least. Second best fight of the night, no doubt about it. I can give this at least 4 stars as my rating for the match. I enjoyed the match. I really liked how everything was coming out. And yes, there was a rare occasion. We saw blood in this match. Randy Orton ended up getting cut in the match. And they, it was a serious situation. The gash is pretty good. He's gonna have to have stitches to cover that wound. I don't know how many it's gonna be, but it'll probably be a good amount, to say the very least. Everybody was real good in the match, but at the end of the day, John Cena once again proves why he is the golden boy of the WWE. He wins the title, wins the match, and he is, I should say, the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, much to the dismay of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. The Authority very upset. And I'll say this: I know 3 people who are very happy tonight to see this outcome. One is the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the beautiful Megan Silva, super fan Dee Dee Woodson, and actually a member of my 2184 crew, Lori. She's a big John Cena mark. She's a huge fan of the Total Divas. She loves John Cena, and now he is the man, the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He wins the belt here tonight in Boston, and what a moment it is for him, his family. Congratulations to John Cena and the Cena Nation for a grand moment. You guys did it. You're the champions. Total review of this pay-per-view, I mean, there's nothing to say. The 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches delivered. The WWE Tag Team title fight delivered. And you had a couple of surprising good matches. Adam Rose and Damian Sandow actually had a pretty good fight. The Divas fight actually delivered for once and was actually a pretty good fight. And then you had quality matches with Biggie Langston and Rusev and Rybax and Stardust and Goldust. They actually had a good fight. The only dud fight of this entire pay-per-view was actually the Diva fight between Summer Rae and Layla. So with that said and everything included, I give the rating of 7.5 to 8 out of 10. A very good pay-per-view for the WWE. They actually delivered for once after the ROH put out their first pay-per-view, which was Best in the World, and they actually knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. So WWE follows suit and actually turns around and gives a quality pay-per-view, to say the very least, and that was that. So with that said, unfortunately, like I said, we did lose Anthony Florio earlier in the night, so I hope you guys do tune in to the Tone 25, and hopefully Anthony will be able to get his server back so that he will cut his recap of the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view event. And with that said, tomorrow night is another edition of the Wrestling Forum that will be hosted by Derek Ferrera with Anthony Floyd, with myself, with Michael Bullock, as we all will be recapping WWE Monday Night Raw, the fallout from the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Now that Seth Rollins does have the briefcase, will he cash it in on John Cena? Um, will tomorrow night be that opportunity, or will it be another time? We will wait and see. Until then, I am Michael Flecha. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment on the bottom. What did you feel about the pay-per-view? Of course, hit me up on Twitter at Mike Flecha Jr. or on Facebook as always. And of course, we will see you guys tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern, immediately following Monday Night Raw. Until then, you know the routine, everybody. Hug the hand pounds. We out. Good night from East Providence, Rhode Island. You have been watching a special edition of the Wrestling Forum, the recap of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, exclusively on YouTube.com. Have a good night, everybody.